get something, you give something. That's the philosophy. So each year, the iGEM competition gives to the teams a set of DNA parts, but in exchange, you have to submit your parts that you are creating in the lab, and also the combinations of the parts already published or submitted to iGEM. So that's it.
And how do you think the iGEM process has affected the field of synthetic biology?
It feels a lot more like a community, I would say. Because normally everybody is segmented into their own little labs, own little worlds, own little projects. But now you actually interact with a lot more groups and a lot more directions than you would normally.
In the iGEM world, is cooperation encouraged, and why?
Well, collaboration between different iGEM teams is highly encouraged. It helps you to get a better result, an end result. But also, if you look at the way iGEM is arranged, you can also use the results of last year's team. So that is also a kind of collaboration. All the results that we will have this year, next year's teams could maybe use for their own projects. So in that way, you use lots of stuff that other teams make, but you can also help each other by making products that somebody can't make or you can. So.
And is there any sort of intellectual property protection for the biobricks?
Well, no. They're quite open source, and that's what I believe we love about it.
Yeah, that's the magic.
That's the magic behind it.
If you don't get to own it through the law, then what incentive is there for you to create new things?
Well, it's just the emotion of being part of science. I mean, you are just helping other people to create new innovations, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pure academic incentive, and that's really what it's all about. I mean, if you look at past inventions, it's always been a serendipitous event, and basically you want to be able to have more of these events occurring. And the only way to achieve that is that if you have the information open to everyone. At least that's the opinion that I believe the iGEM teams of the world have.
This thing about patenting genes, and in my point of view, I think it's not the right way of protecting the property. I mean, the DNA is something that we have in common, all of us. And, well, if you see from the point of view from science, well, nature invented the DNA and the DNA sequences, or God, if you want to call it. It's not something that, because you sequence, you own it.
And basically, if you patent a gene, it's going to remain in the research section of a company. And what the company wants is basically increase the amount of product they make in order to get the money in. And what you're then doing is, like Hugo said, preventing other people from actually being able to use this and to further develop it in a different direction. Whereas the company wants one product, perhaps you can use these methods also to create something else. And that's what engineering is all about. You take what you have and create something out of it. And these companies are limiting it if they do that. Patent the genes.
Let me ask you this. If you were to make a unique sequence, right, that didn't exist in nature, would that be different than, say, finding a sequence that does exist in nature?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm for that. I mean, because then you are innovating something. You are generating a new sequence that it wasn't there. Then you can protect it.
And tell me why you don't think it's inventive to just discover an existing gene?
Well, in principle, it was already there. That's why. I mean, you just find a way in which you can check the sequences, and then, well, you find that this sequence is doing something for the cell, but it's not necessarily your invention. I mean, nature invented before you were here.
It's like patenting gravity. Yeah.
No,
if Newton patented gravity, he'd be filthy rich. But could he actually say he invented it? He simply discovered it.